Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mark Isaac Potter Presents. I'm very happy to say that today we're visiting with Nate Hall of Backyard Fishing Digital Marketing. Nate, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great, Mark.
How
Good to
are
see you
things in
again.
Ohio?
Good, good. We're relatively recent transplants, so the weather's been cooperating for us newbies here.
Do you remember that I'm from Ohio or not?
I did,
Yeah,
yeah.
north. Salem,
Uh-huh.
you're in Salem Heights, you said?
Yeah, I guess there's a bunch of little neighborhoods around here. It's
Okay.
Cincinnati, basically, is the
Oh,
Cincinnati
okay.
area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you grew up, what is your education, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, so I was started out on the Cape. My dad was in the Air Force, so we ended up moving around quite a bit. And
Okay.
yeah, so we were on Cape Cod, so that was a nice entry to life, and left there.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically as I started school, we went to Europe, and so we were there through my elementary years, and lived in Germany, France, and Italy.
Oh,
So I
nice.
spoke
Very
four
good.
languages when I left Europe, but now I have trouble
Wow.
with English. Um,
Wow, that's
so
great. That's great. And your
uh,
education, how did you come into your educational path?
yeah, I ended up playing some football at San Diego State, and I ended up getting a couple of degrees there, and that worked out. Started my corporate career there out of school with IBM, and after IBM, basically I've been a serial entrepreneur since.
Okay, very cool. So, are there some community events that you like to do in your area? I know you're new to Ohio, right? Or no, you said.
Relatively new. I mean, we got here, and shortly afterwards, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So we didn't get a lot of exposure right away. But the taste of San Diego, I mean, taste of San Diego, taste of Cincinnati, the taste of Cincinnati just happened, and so
Okay.
that is a great street fair sort of event where. And it turns out that Cincinnati is a great food city for foodies.
Okay.
All
Good.
kinds of different food, great restaurants, high end, low end. So even my favorite, being from Southern California, the Mexican food here is surprisingly good. So
Okay.
good
Oh,
stuff.
good. All right. Now you have this business, Backyard Fishing Digital Marketing. Tell us how you got started in your business.
Okay. Well, I'll start with the name. So the name Backyard Fishing came from times with my grandfather. So
Okay.
my mother's family is from Kansas, and my grandparents lived about 2 blocks from what they call the Arkansas River. Everybody else in the world calls it the Arkansas River. Um, so he would take us fishing, and I was less than appreciative as a whatever grade school kid
Right.
of him taking the time out of a businessman's day, and then he was a police chief and all this stuff. So but he would spend time with us, and we were fishing, and I always wanted to go to the big lake, and we would always go to the river, that was 2 blocks
Okay.
away, because he could do
Right.
that and fit it into his schedule.
Yeah.
So one day he said, I want you to remember this. Make sure you catch all the fish in your own backyard before you go out to the big water.
Oh,
And so that just stuck with me. And I named the company to, keep him alive. We try to do that with the relatives that we've lost. And
very nice. What was his
yeah,
name? What was his name, Nate?
James A. Woodson. Yeah,
Okay. Very
yeah,
nice. We'll
yeah.
remember him now. We have him on the
Okay.
show.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I had a solar business and ended up transitioning. I was doing all the marketing and contracting and everything else for that solar business. And when COVID hit, I had to give that up,
Mm,
and I ended up pivoting to, I was doing, like I said, doing all the marketing. So I understood being on the business owner side of the desk when it
Right.
came to marketing, what was needed.
Okay.
And so that's how I began to service other folks that had a toolbox in the back of their truck. Um, yeah,
Okay.
so basically home service businesses. Initially, we branched out since then, but our whole mission is to get in front, get the right customer in front of the business owner and have that be the customer that they desire to work with and have that be a match between the customer and the business owner. So
Okay.
yeah, and that's no matter what business it is. I have financial professionals that I work with, business coaches. Everybody takes a little bit of a different formula, but for the most part, they're looking to. I essentially look at myself as a digital real estate manager. And
Okay.
so I help you create and optimize that real estate. And
Right.
then I
Right.
want it to work for you, not to just be there, not to be a bookmark as a website or a landing page or a video library. We try to get all those things to work for you so that they are delivering people to your doorstep that you want to talk to.
That's very, very different and very, I want to say wonderful, but I use the word wonderful a lot. But it's very wonderful that you're the first person I've interviewed in a long time that talks about kind of the profile, the personality of the customer and bringing the correct customer to the
Right.
business owner. That's not something I hear very often. So that's to be applauded. That's very nice. I like it. How do you, can you tell us how you go about doing that, or is that like a proprietary thing?
No, I mean I use some proprietary tools, but the essence of the process is really to understand. So Google is trying to do the same thing I'm trying to do. Google and
Oh,
Bing and all the search engines,
well,
YouTube.
obviously they're
Uh,
copying you, you know.
yeah, right, exactly, exactly. I originated the whole idea. So they the whole goal with a search engine is to match the searcher and their intent with the provider of whatever it is that that searcher is looking for.
Right.
And so we just take the time to make sure that on the employer on the business owner side that all of their information is going to be appealing to the search engine so that that
Okay.
search engine brings that the person who's looking for their services. And so if you communicate well, Google wants trust, consistency, and transparency. And uh, and if you can do that with some regularity, some frequency on top of that,
Right.
then Google says, hey, that business really knows what they're doing on the digital real estate side. And so
Okay.
let's match them. And in fact, the more activity we can draw, then the more it kind of rolls and builds a momentum.
Okay.
So we help it a little bit in that once we've created assets, we will actually send traffic to those assets, whether it's a website or
Or
let's say
whatever. Whatever.
this video here,
Okay. Yeah.
once we create this and we want to send people who have an interest in these topics.
Very, very, very nice. I really like that. That's I don't have a question about pricing or how your pricing is structured. Do you want to address that or not really? Would you rather, is it more custom pricing for each client, do you think, or what?
It is. So one of the things that I try to do is as much as I can without any sort of a charge. So if you want to do things for yourself and you can do them, I
Right.
will help you lay out some sort of a plan and maybe you reach a point where you say, okay, I've done all I can do and we can review all that stuff and then let's take the next level. Other people say, I do widgets and that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't want to do all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And so I can take them from, a blank sheet of paper to being able to deliver customers to them and help them on the backside. So, um,
That's great.
but yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it can be relative, it can be pretty affordable. There are some people that I've kind of taken under my wing. I've got a bad shoulder, and I had
Okay.
a massage therapist and a physical trainer who kind of
Needed
did
some
a lot of
marketing
extra.
help, apparently.
Yeah, well, they needed some marketing help, and they did a lot of extra stuff for me. So
Yeah.
we just kind of traded services, and they're very happy. One of those clients said, if I asked my client where they found me and they say Google, I know it's Nate. So
Very nice. Very
yeah.
nice. So, can you tell us one or two
Hmm.
of the best stories about your business? Either things that were terrible, things that were great, unusual. Tell us a story about something that
Okay.
happened.
Okay. Well, one will be I'll take that same massage therapist. So she was leaving a big shop that's a chain and wanted to set up her own shop. And
Right. Right.
I applaud that. I try to help empower women as much as I can. And so I applauded her entrepreneurship. She knew what she didn't know, which is a critical thing in any sort of a business.
Right.
And so she would ask me, one, tell me what I don't know if I haven't, communicated that myself.
Right.
And then so we just started to build incrementally. We used video initially, which we've got a special service that ranks videos on page one of YouTube right away.
Really?
And so,
Can you say
yeah,
that? Nate, say that again.
yeah. So we have a special structure on video creation that will rank on. So it's the stuff that we create, not necessarily
It's an
things that are.
algorithm that your people wrote or what?
Well, it's really a framework behind the video. So kind of all the search stuff is all kind of behind the scenes. You can have the most beautiful website and or the most
And if
well-produced video,
nobody comes
but
to it, why
yeah, yeah.
no
What
sales?
difference does it make exactly? And you can have a very ugly website and have that be ranked on top because you've done all the stuff on behind the scenes well. So the behind the scenes work on the video stuff, and we do things. A lot of the stuff for video is for special offers. So for a promotion. So rather than doing a Groupon, let's do a video. Um,
Okay.
and then we also do branding with the videos and expertise videos. So that was our start with her, and then we've built out a website and added a few other things. So she now has a great flow of customers. She's as busy as she wants to be, and she had a great skill set. It's hard to find a good therapist, and I wanted to not only continue to be her client myself, but to bring her the kind of clients that she wanted. So she's got some
Yeah.
specialty things that she does for sports therapy and stuff like that. So that would be one where she was kind of ground zero
Right.
and now is full tilt at about
Successful. Right.
12 to 18 months. Yeah.
Okay.
And then here's one of my favorite stories.
Okay.
Working with an electrician. He already had a great relationship with a big box store that was kind of like a Home Depot, but it was a family owned store. So they only had
Right.
one store, but it was kind of like a Home Depot shop. Uh,
Okay.
so he was working on his late 60s, looking to sell his business. He'd had a couple different offers. And so we started talking. His son had referred me to him. And so we started talking. And he said, my son tells me you can help me grow my business before I sell it. And I said, well, let's take it a step further. You're probably, and he had in the conversations he was uh, the price of his business was going to be based primarily on profitability. So
Yeah.
sales were great, but if they had profitability, they were much more interested in paying a higher price.
Right.
So I said, so let's do this. Right now, you're doing everything from outlets to light bulbs to rewires of entire houses. How about we focus on the top three profitability services that you provide and let's promote those.
Okay.
And so we did that. And again, this as managing his digital real estate to focus on that and bringing the people who are looking for rewires or room additions or panel upgrades, or electric car installations, high margin, uh,
Right. Big
profitable
ticket.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, big ticket stuff. So long story short, we ended up adding about $1 million to his sales price.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
and so, yeah, so I still get birthday and Christmas cards from his
I'll
wife.
bet you do. $1 million will buy a lot of birthday cards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just love to add value in a tangible way. It's great to look
Yes.
good, but in a tangible way, help people who are trying to run their business, help them run it better, give them more business to run.
Okay. So there are, as you already know, there are a lot of digital marketing companies out there.
Sure.
What makes your particular company different or special compared to other companies in your own field?
Okay. Good question. And it's a question everyone should ask, if they're looking to get services. One is, does the marketing person really have an understanding of what owning and running a business means? And do they understand what owning and running your business means? And so, as I said, I've had my own businesses where I've been on the buy side, I'll call it, of marketing services. And so I could tell if people knew what I was trying to accomplish,
Okay.
if they didn't completely understand my business, did they take the time to understand really what I was trying to accomplish right away, how that might fit into a longer term plan, all of
Right.
those sort of things.
Right. Okay.
So it's the classic, when you're getting out of school and they say, well, where do you want to be in 5 years? Um, well, that's actually
Yes.
that should be a real question when I'm talking to a business owner and asking them how I can help. What are you trying to do immediately? And are you looking to
Oh,
create
yeah.
enterprise value like my electrician was? Are you trying to
Right.
get started and generate, a steady stream of quality customers like my massage therapist? So, and it's all over the board. Um,
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I believe it because yeah, I can see that. I makes me reflect on my own business and where we'd want to be. So that's very good. Now, people are going to want to get in touch with you, and folks,
uh-huh.
I recommend that you get in touch with Nate. He's one of the best digital marketing people that I've interviewed. Um, what methodology would you like people to use? I like to ask this question because I think it helps people decide to take the step of contacting you. What
Mhm.
you like them to call? Do you like them to email, visit the website? And do you have a free, you know, 20-second consultation or something? How does that
Yeah,
work?
we'll even go 30 seconds. No, I'm just, yeah,
Wow.
I'd love to understand, and I will readily admit I can't help everyone, and
Yeah, yeah.
so I would love to have that initial conversation, and it generally takes, if we decide immediately, so as an example, I don't do a lot of e-commerce stuff. So if you're an e-commerce business and we didn't know anything much about each other, and we had our initial talk, I might be able to help you in a broader base. I've done a lot of different things business wise, so I might be able to help you in a broader base or refer you to the right person because I do have an extensive network. But I do like to have that initial consultation, and there might even be a couple depending on how in depth the client wants to go and where they want to go.
Are you saying you
Um,
stick mostly to bricks and mortar?
I do a lot of my work is are local businesses. Now those local businesses might have multiple locations, But
Yeah,
yeah, so I have a couple clients now that have in Ohio, have a location here in Cincinnati. They've got a location in Dayton, one in Columbus, one in Cleveland. So it's not quite a chain, but they do have multiple locations. And each location, even though we want to look at branding and the look and feel, should all be universal. Marketing in Columbus may be different than it is in Cincinnati, just because of the demographics and
right.
yeah. So there may
So
be.
if somebody's headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina,
Uh-huh.
do you want them to call you or what? How does that work?
Yes, calling is great. Email is fine. Calling is probably the best, and then we can, we can exchange the right information from there. But I have a lot of people that reach me on LinkedIn, so we could provide that information as well.
Okay,
But
all
yeah,
right. Okay, good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've been visiting today with Mr. Nate Hall, who is a marvelous human being. And you can
thank you,
quote me
Mark.
on that, please.
Uh,
And thank you all for watching the show. And we'll see you next time, folks.
Thanks so much, Mark.
Please take care. Yeah, thank you so much, Nate. You're quite wonderful.